Good afternoon to all our listeners, and welcome to Warner Park, day two on this day-night encounter between the Jamaican Scorpions and the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. And their overnight total, 112 for 3. To my right is Keith Carty as the umpires and the two openers. And in recent times, Keith, I realized that the batsmen a lot of times reach out before the fielders. Well, pleasant good afternoon to you, Keith, and welcome once again, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Victor. Good afternoon to all, and we welcome you to coverage of this, the second day of this match between the Leeward Islands Hurricanes and the Jamaican Scorpions. Of course, from our overnight position, Jamaica were 112 for the loss of 3. Blackwood unbeaten on 56 and Footerden unbeaten on 6. Extras so far 3. The batsmen to go was Walton, Williams and King. They departed with a total on 24, 32 and 62 respectively. And as I speak now, the teams are in the middle, and it looks like Blackwood is going to have first strike to the bowling of Jacobs, it seems, and he'll be bowling to a solitary slipper forward short, like a backward point, extra cover, a man out on the square cover boundary. There's also a mid-off, a mid-on, a short mid-wicket, and a fielder right back on the square leg boundary. And he's bowling a few loosen exercises to try and get the shoulders going. So the umpires are now signaling the start of play, and in a matter of seconds, we will be very much on the way.
Yes, and everything is in order now, and day two of this day-night encounter.
So Powell starting with Jacobs as he goes over the wicket to bowl to Blackwood. A short delivery outside the off stump, and immediately he's crashing that out towards the cover point fielder. And it looks like Peters, he runs across to his left, prevents the second. And Blackwood is off and running this afternoon. And the score has pushed on by 1 now to 63 for the loss of 3.
Yes, and Footerden, the left-hander, will come into strike with... Pardon?
113 the score for 3.
Yes.
Here is Jacobs to bowl to Footerden. Footerden is forward and attempting to walk the ball down the onside, misses. Well, we'll have to wait on the umpire's decision to see whether he got bat onto that. But one more run to the Jamaican cause. It's gone out to 114. In fact, there is no signal, so Footerden, he gets off the mark for today as well. And he goes to, I think, 7? And the score progresses to 113. Jacobs from the commentary box and is on his way to bowl to Blackwood, a delivery wide of the off stump. And he initially thought of slotting that over cover. In the end, just allowed it to go through. And it's going to be very interesting as to what his approach is going to be. Jacobs on his way to bowl to him. He's on the front for defending. And there is no additional run to the score. The score is 114 for the loss of 3. Blackwood so far has 57 and Footerden has 7. Here is Jacobs as he goes in to bowl to Blackwood, who is on the front for defending out towards backward point. Carty does the fielding. The first over comes to an end. And in fact, there's one more delivery to go. And so far, so good. As far as the Leewards are concerned, Jamaica would want to build on this position. Jacobs on his way to bowl to Blackwood. He's back and then turns it out towards backward square off the mid-wicket boundary, comes Ward and cannot prevent the second. And Blackwood easily home for the second run, which takes his total now to 59 and the score 116. Jamaica replying to 204 made by the Leewards for the loss of 3.
Yes, good run in between the wickets by both batsmen, recognizing that Terence Ward had to come off the deep mid-wicket boundary and he had to come around in a square leg area. And running the first one quickly, they capitalized and they got 2 runs. 116 for 3. Raheem Cornwall, the vice captain, he's going to come from the southern or Lozak Road end.
In other regional matches, TNT versus Guyana. TNT was bowled out for 110. Guyana replying was bowled out for 152. And TNT in the second innings, they were, I think, 40 odd for no loss. Windwards against versus Barbados were 348 for 5 when I last checked. Devon Smith was 182 not out. That would have been his 36th regional first class 100.
Yes, and such a prolific scorer in regional cricket is Devon Smith. But always when given opportunities and at the higher level, never seems to really deliver equally or just close to what he acquires in regional cricket, and it's a transformation from regional cricket to Test cricket, Keith Carty. But 3600s, that is a tremendous record for Devon Smith.
Well, so far he has scored 2 centuries in this year's tournament. Last year, I think he got in excess of 600s. And so by that standard, this one will be a letdown. But still, he's a very good player. Was recalled for the series against Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Did not do too well. I thought he got a half century in one of those matches and then was discarded. Well, here is Rakeem Cornwall, who's going to bowl right arm around the wicket to the left-handed footed in. There's a solitary slip and a forward short leg waiting. There's also a backward point to cover, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket and a short backward square. Here is Cornwall out to bowl to footed in outside the line of the off stump. The batsman realizing he didn't have to play, allowed it to go through to Hamilton. And the score is kept on 116 for the loss of 3. Cornwall is on his way once more around the wicket to bowl to footed in, who is forward once more. Picks the line very early, wide of the off stump, and the batsman have opted not to play. Has gone into his stance as he looks up and sees that Cornwall is very much on his way. And he is on the back for defending. Monson Hodger need the helmet there at forward short leg, completed the fielding. And once again, there is no run. So footed in has been slow, but this is a game where it's not really required on you to be batting any quicker than he is. Here is Hina Wonderfront for driving out towards squarish cover where Boland is in the way to do the fielding. And once more, there is no addition to the score. The score is kept on 116 for the loss of 3. Jamaica replying to Leewards 204. Cornwall to bowl to footed in once more. He's defending out towards backward point. And Carty rushes in, completes the fielding. And there's no additional run to the score. Here is Cornwall, probably in his last delivery in this, the second over, is on his way now to bowl to footed in. And he plays it out towards the backward point position, brings up the end of the over. And Jamaica continuing from where they left off last night. They are now 103 for 3, 116 for 3.
And no doubt this is going to be a long spell for Rakeem Cornwall, operating from the Southern Lozak Road end. What was very noticeable in Rakeem Cornwall's field placement is that everyone was within the 30-yard circle. So that was a good sign that the Leewards come out in an aggressive and positive way, because they will have to try and make early inroads if they should restrict Jamaica on the 204.
Well, Jacobs is going to commence over number 3 in today's place, bowling to Blackwood, who is looking to hoik that somewhere over mid-on. And in the end, the inner portion of the bat found the ball trickle around the stumps area. And there is no run. 116 for 3. Blackwood has 59. Looks up and sees that Jacobs is very much on his way to bowl to him. Off the back foot he goes. And not really getting the timing or the placement that he would have desired. And Carty did the fielding. So Jacobs will be very much encouraged with what he's seen so far in the previous 2 deliveries, as he comes in out to bowl to Blackwood, who's defending once more. And back down the track for Jacobs, did his own fielding. And the score is 116 for 3. 59 is Blackwood. 7 is footed in, of course. Here is Blackwood once more to bowl to, that is Jacobs to bowl to Blackwood. He's driving out towards the extra cover region. They are now turning for the second, and Burridge is across to his right very quickly and prevented what could have been a boundary. And Blackwood has gone to 61 and the total to 118 for 3. So he's bowling to a solitary slip, a forward short leg, backward point, cover right back on the boundary, and the extra cover. Here is he now defending once more out towards the Leewards captain in Kyron Powell, and he does the fielding. So to complete the field for you, there is a straightish mid-wicket and a feeler right down here in the mid-on area. Here is Jacobs as he goes into bowl to Blackwood once more, hitting this very hard and straight into the boundary for 4. So we know what he capable of. He really loves to hit the ball straight down the ground, and did exactly that on the last occasion. So he's gone to 65 and a total to 122 for 3.
Yes, and one of the better strokes that a batsman can play, and he executed that nicely, was Blackwood straight into the long on boundary for 4, which takes him on to 65, 122 for 3. Well, Footerton, yes, is slow, but he's playing a vital role in this partnership. Cornwall will continue from the southern. Let us see what will happen throughout this over. Cornwall operating from the southern end.
As he comes into bowl to Footerton is defending. A delivery pitches in line with middle stump, and he pushes it out towards extra cover, where the Leewards captain is in the way. There's no opportunity for a single. Still mid-on has Forward shot leg has now gone to a silly mid-off position. And here is Fullerton driving over the top of long off. In fact, it's gone all the way for 4 runs, 6 runs signaled by umpire Carly Tuckett, and that was a very positive shot, unlike any we've seen so far played by Fullerton.
Yes, and good use of the feet for the din. Chipping into one that Cornwall gave a little much more flight. He picked it early and he executed it over long off for his first 6 of the innings. He now moves on to 13, and it is 128 for 3.
128 for 3. Leewards battling on here, and Fullerton has gone to 13. The total 128 for 3 with that shot. Cornwall to bolt him once more. He's defending and can do no more than play the ball into the hands of the man there at forward shots. Still limit off. That is Monson Hodge off the bounce, of course. Here is Cornwall as he comes up now to bowl to Fullerton. He's on the front foot defending once more, and there's no additional run to the score. It's kept on 128 for 3. He has 13 as Fullerton and 65 has Blackwood. Here is Fullerton as he looks up and sees that Cornwall is on his way to bowl to him. He's on the front foot pushing out towards extra cover, and that's all there will be. There is more run from that delivery, and the latest score here, Jamaica 128 for the loss of 3.
Yes, and really building a good partnership, these two, Fullerton and Blackwood. The last wicket went for Jamaica at 62. It is now 128. So they would hope, Jamaican Scorpions would hope to really build upon this partnership, both Blackwood and Fullerton. And Blackwood is looking very good. He's 65 not out, 128 for 3.
Well, here is Blackwood as he looks up and gets ready to do battle with Jacobs. He has gone from, I think, 56 to 65, and would want to add a lot more to that total. Jacobs is on his way to bowl to Blackwood, who gets one that spins away from him. The batsman picking the line and length very early, and watches it go through to Hamilton, who has done a very good job in this match so far. Blackwood looks up and sees that Jacobs is very much with him. A forward short leg waits, a shortish delivery off the back foot, and he just punches it out to cover. Will get at least 1, and 1 is all there will be. He goes to 66. And the total to 129 for 3 Jamaica, replying to 204 made by the Leewards when they batted first. Of course, Hamilton was the principal scorer. I think he got 65, sorry. Here's Blackwood to Fullerton. There's a loud appeal. Umpire Raj Kumar said not out. That probably would have spun past the leg stump. And Carty in that short backward square position did the fielding, and there is no addition to the score. So Fullerton has gone to 13. I think he was 6 overnight, and these two will be looking to score a lot more freer than they did yesterday. Here is Jacobs as he comes in out to bowl to Fullerton, who turns it off the pads out towards forward square. Carty comes from that backward square position across to his right to do the fielding, not before the batsman crosses for a single, which takes the score to 129 for the loss of 3. Taylor, as the batsman, he looks up and sees that Jacobs is very much on his way to bowl to Taylor. He goes back to a shortish length delivery, one that bounced a lot higher than Blackwood anticipated, and can do no more but defend. No ball signaled by umpire Raj Kumar, of course. So Jacobs will need to keep that front foot behind of that line as he goes into bowl to Blackwood once more. Blackwood is driving in. The catch is dropped. Kyron Powell diving to his left, got both hands to it, and as we speak now, Victor, we can see he's there lying on the carpet with his head in the ground, and by his standards, I think he'll be very disappointed that he didn't take that catch.
Well, it was powerfully struck also too, but if you get both hands to it most of the times, you should really pull in those ones.
Jacobs on his way to bowl to Fullerton. Fullerton is defending a deliberate pitch outside the line of the leg stump. Might have been the googly as well, but however, another over comes to an end. Over number 35 comes to an end, and Jamaica replying to 204 made by the Leewards. They were 132 now for the loss of 3.
Yes, and Fullerton is playing a very vital role. Yes, he's slow. He's on 14, but equally too, the last wicket went down for the Scorpions when the total was on 62. It's now 132. So quite sensible knock by Fullerton, supporting Blackwood, who is looking better and better as his innings goes on.
So Jamaica are 72 runs behind of the Leeward Islands' first innings total. They would want to get past that and push way even beyond, as they would want to bat probably once in this match. Here is Cornwall as he comes up now to bowl to Blackwood, a delivery in line with middle leg stump. Plays it there to Kyron Powell, who stills, you can see, reminiscing on that mistake that he made. And well, that is already gone. He will need to look forward, look ahead. Here is Cornwall as he comes up now to bowl to Blackwood. There's a long on and a long off in place. And that ball turned off the pad down towards fine leg region. And Casey Carty's after it, gets onto it just about now. And with a very strong return into Hamilton, not before the batsman crosses for 2, which takes Blackwood now to 69. And Jamaica to 134 for 3. Here is Cornwall. There's a long off, a long on, a first slip, a leg slip, as he comes in now to bowl to Blackwood. And he's out caught. He is out caught. So, and a delivery pitching in line with leg stump, and the catch was taken by, I think, Monson Hodge there at leg slip region. So the first wicket is gone. 134 for the loss now of 4. Blackwood is caught by Monson Hodge at leg slip of the bowling of Cornwall for 69, and Jamaica 134 now for 4.
Yes, and a very vital wicket for the Leewards to have taken in Blackwood. He goes for 69 and 134 for 4. So a good start for the Leewards on day 2 of this day-night encounter being played here at Warner Park between the Jamaican Scorpions and the Leeward Islands.
Well, the new batsman looks as though Palmer is going to make his way into the middle, and he's going to replace Blackwood. And these two would probably need another partnership to get restarted and get anywhere in excess of, I would say, 300 or even 350 to really give themselves a realistic chance of winning this match outright.
Yes, and they have a very good opportunity here on hand. And Cornwall usually bowls well from that southern end or Lozak Road end here at Warner Park, and he has gotten a very valuable wicket for the Leewards.
Of course, that is a wicket of Blackwood, who we know can really score very quickly. And we've seen him play the shot down the ground this morning with authority, but has not done much more than that. Here is a batsman sweeping behind square, and the ball has gone past, it looked like Devon Thomas, and gone past Jacobs in fact, and then gone across the boundary now for 4. So Palmer off the mark with style, really a very good sweep shot to Cornwall, and the ball has sped away out towards the backward square boundary for 4.
Yes, and really the batsman will have to try and build a partnership now that is Footed and Palmer, after losing the very valuable wicket of Blackwood for 69.
The total advances by 4 to 138 now for 4. Palmer has 4, and with him Footed has 11. Palmer looks up and sees that Cornwall is very much on his way, and he's down the track. In fact, misses the delivery. In fact, he didn't play at that delivery, but the ball spun into the gloves of Hamilton. So you can see Cornwall starting very well this morning, and has not been roughly treated. That is, this afternoon has not been roughly treated as he probably was last night when Blackwood almost tore into him. Here was a short delivery, crashed into Monson Hodge. They had sealing it off. Brings up the end of the 36th over, and of course Jamaica, they are 138 for the loss of 4.
Yes, and Cornwall, Rakim operating from the southern, and he's going to have a long spell in this innings, obviously, after especially removing Blackwood, who batted well. He scored 69, 138 for 4. Footed is not out on 14.
Well, here is Jacobs as he goes away from us now to bowl to Footed and gets the delivery outside the line of the off stump, pushes the pad, and they're realizing, well, that wouldn't turn back enough to challenge the off stump. And Raj Kumar is now telling Jacobs that he needs to stay off the pitch area, and of course he'll have to make that adjustment very quickly as he goes in now to bowl to Footed, and he's driving gloriously through cover. I don't think Ward will catch up with this. It goes across the boundary now for 4, and that's a shot of confidence in class to Footed, which takes his total now to 18. And the Jamaican score to 142 now for the loss of 5, Victor.
Yes, his emphasis was on timing, and his placement was superb, and it went into the deep extra cover boundary, earning himself 4 runs.
Well, last night he was very circumspect in his approach. You've come here this afternoon and playing a few more shots. We've really seen him hit Cornwall over the top for 6. And on that occasion, it was an exquisite cover drive, really picking the gap between cover, extra cover, and backward point into the cover boundary for 4. Here is Jacobs as he goes past the umpire now to bowl to him once more, and he's sweeping, and Monson Hodge diving across to his right from the leg slip position. Got a hand to it, but in my view that came somewhat of the pad, and had that came off the bat, he would have gone away for 4. Here is Jacobs as he goes into bowl to foot it in once more. Foot it in, is beaten, is stumped. In fact, there's an appeal for stumping, and Carly Tuckett said not out. In fact, it was a no ball, Victor. So there you go.
Yes, and guilty of overstepping there, and Jama Hamilton is of the view that that would have really been a close call if it was not for the no ball, but those things happen in the game. 143 for 4. Palmer is not out on 4, and as a footed in, he is on 18. He no doubt is looking to take over the role now between these two.
All the batsmen gone so far, Blackwood, adding 13 runs to his overnight score. Here is Jacobs to bowl to foot it in once more. He's on the front foot, initially thinking about the sweep shot and then restraining himself from doing that. Opened the face of the bat and stayed it out towards backward point. The score is 143 now for the loss of 4. Jamaica replying to 204 made by the Leeward Islands. Here is Jacobs as he goes into bowl to foot it in, the one that's turned back into him. So clearly they would have gone on to miss leg stump, and the end of another good over, but we've seen one good shot played in the over, a cover drive that footed in, played through the offside for 4.
Yes, superb stroke that was from footed in. 143, so the Jamaican Scorpions, they're getting or inching closer to the target of 204. Footed in is there, no doubt he will try to really manage things out there along with Palmer and try and build a partnership here for Jamaica. But Cornwall will have other ideas. He have had the success and the very valuable wicket today thus far of Blackwood.
Well, it's going to be Cornwall to continue from the far end. He'll be bowling to a solitary slip and a silly mid off. Here is he now to bowl to the batsman in Palmer. He's off. In fact, he's gone to 5. The total pushes on by 1 to 144. And that is Jamaica replying to 204 made by the Leewards. Extra so far has contributed to 5. And footed in has 18. Looks up and sees that Cornwall is on his way. In fact, he's waiting to make a feeling change. So Jacobs comes a bit closer to the batsman in a run-saving position. Here is Cornwall from the far end as he comes into bowl to footed in, who's defending out towards Monson Hodge. They had still limit off, and there is no long off, no long on. So anyhow he tosses it, footed in will be encouraged to go over the top. Cornwall in his way to bowl to footed in once more, and that was spun past the left-handed batsman. Good take from Hamilton, and so far this battle has been an intense one. Jamaica with a nose slightly in front will want that to continue, and here we see another close call. Footed in, getting back on that delivery, and the score is kept on 144 for the loss of 4, and of course extras of 5 runs. We're in the 38th over of this inning so far. Here is Cornwall as he comes in out to bowl to footed in, who's defending back down the track where it looks like the captain Powell from Nevis, of course, has lost his place in the West Indies team. Here is footed in once more, just allowing the ball to go through into the gloves of Hamilton, and the latest score here 144 for the loss of 4. As said, footed in has 18 and Palmer has 4.
Yes, and a very good spin being extracted here by Rakeem Cornwall, who operates from the southern end of the ground and really doing a good job so far. No surprise, because Cornwall has been very consistent in terms of wickets in regional cricket, and the Leewards have a battle here on hand. Carty, 204, 144 is the present score for the Jamaican Scorpions.
Well, Jacobs is going to continue from the commentary box end to bowl to Palmer, and Palmer is on the back foot to a delivery that probably went straight on, not really much turn so far from Jacobs, and the score is kept on 144 for the loss of 4. So there is a slip and a forward short leg, and here is Jacobs now to bowl to Palmer, who goes on the back foot and hits it out to cover. where Peters is in the way. He does the fielding, and there's no addition to the score. I think so far we've had, 9 centuries in this West Indies Championship. Here is Jacobs as he goes in now to bowl to Palmer, who's defending once more, and there is no run. I think Carty had 1, Hodge had 2, Solizano from Trinidad had 1, Chandapal from Guyana. Then you had Hemorrhage having 1, Smith 2, and Chadwick Walton 1. Here is the batsman down the track is Palmer. Cannot beat the man there at mid-on. A very good diving save from Thomas. Saved clearly 3 runs for the Leewards team. That was brilliant, Victor.
Yes, indeed, and it was sweetly timed, but good feeling equally. Thomas up at a wide mid-on, also dive into his left, brilliant save.
Here is Jacobs as he goes away from us now to bowl to Fududin, and the left-handed batsman is on the front foot pushing out towards Powell at that very straight and short mid-wicket position, and he's kept on 18 to score 145. Here is Jacobs as he turns once more, and Monson Hodge has now come a bit more forward instead of being in a leg slip. He's now at forward short leg. Here is Jacobs as he comes in out to bowl to the batsman in Palm and Fududin, who defends it out towards the backward point region, will get a single, takes his personal score to 19 and the overall tally to 146 for the loss of 4. The end of yet another good over from the Leewards, but the Jamaican team continuing to bat nicely.
Yes, and they keep on exchanging the strike quite nicely. Also, too, both batsmen now having a mid-pitch conversation and now getting back to their respective creases. And Cornwall is going to continue from the Southern or Lozak Road end.
Well, here he is as he comes on to bowl to the left-handed footed in, a shortish length delivery. He's allowing the ball to come onto the bat and played it in the offside. And the score is kept on 146. The sun really out in all its brilliance here, and not the evidence of the strong breeze we've had yesterday. Cornwall is on his way to bowl to Fududin, and he's looking to drive the ball down to the man at mid-off. But in the end, the ball has not really found the middle and trickled out to Karen Powell at that short extra cover position. So now the man down at long off is asked to come in at mid-off. So Fududin will be encouraged to go over the top. Here is he now. Down, I'll pattern up to a delivery, pitching outside the line of the off stump. Hamilton not collecting cleanly on this occasion, and the ball going past him and even past the man at first slip. And the score 146 for 4. Cornwall to bowl to Fududin off the backward, stays it out to Carty in that backward point position, and there is no addition to the score. So we're in at the 40th over of this inning so far. Extra so far has contributed 5, and Jamaica scoring the runs at 3.7 runs and over. Another delivery outside the off stump, allowed to go through to the gloves of Hamilton by Fududin, and Cornwall will turn to the top of his mark once more as he comes up to bowl to Fududin, and he's driving back down the track out towards mid-on, and it looks like Terence Ward, the fielder, he does the fielding, and the score is kept on 146 for the loss of 4. Fududin is unbeaten on 19, and with him Palmer has 4.
Yes, and very good control by Rakeem Cornwall, who is operating from that southern end, mixing up his deliveries and giving or extending an invitation or inviting Fududin to go over the top by bringing all his feelers within the 30-yard circle. Well,
here is Palmer as he looks up and sees that Jacobs is very much on his way, and he's on the back foot to a delivery that kept a bit low. And Palmer, of course, the captain of this Jamaican team, a lot is resting on his shoulders. Probably Powell is down to come next. Here is Palmer now to in fact he's bowled. He's played on a delivery from Jacobs, standing on the back foot and allowing the ball to come onto the bat, and he's not really got the bat in the proper angle, and he's disappointed. He has to go. Jamaica has lost another wicket, 146 now for the loss of 5. Palmer, he has gone, bowled by Jacobs for 6, and the score 146 now for 5.
Yes, and another good wicket for the Leeward Islands, and starting off on day 2 quite nicely, seeing the back first of all of Blackwood, who was dismissed by Rakeem Cornwall, and now Palmer making his way back to the pavilion. So the second wicket of this on this day two of this day-night encounter here at Warner Park between Jamaica Scorpions and the Leewards. The Leewards were skittled out for 204. Jamaica, presently, they are 146 for 5.
Well, a good wicket for Leewards to get, so they've gotten two in very quick succession, and they would need to keep up the pressure. And the new batsman, as I said, is Rovman Powell. We know he's a very ferocious striker of the ball as well. Well, first of all, he'll have to have a look and probably see his team over the 204 mark and hope that he can, have a very decent impact on the proceedings. So it's going to be Jacobs from the commentary box end is about to bowl to Powell. So far, Jacobs has picked up the wicket of Palmer, and Cornwall picking up the wicket of Blackwood. So here is Powell as he looks up and sees that Jacobs is very much with him, and Jacobs is bowling to Powell, who turns it off the pad in the onside. Will this go down to the long on boundary? In fact, there's a fielder right back on the boundary. It looks as though Boland comes off the boundary to do the fielding, but not before Powell gets his first run, which takes the score now to 147 for the loss of 5. So Footed-in has been, I would say, the rock of Gibraltar in this inning so far for the Jamaican Scorpions. Here is Jacobs as he goes in out to bowl to Footed-in, and Footed-in is out caught at slip. Footed-in is out caught at slip, not really reading the googly, and the batsman prodded forward. Cornwall just took the ball with ultimate ease, and the 6th wicket goes on for Jamaica. Footed-in caught by Cornwall at first slip for 19 of the bowling of Jacobs, and the score 147 for the loss of 6. So Footed-in would be very disappointed with that. He was caught by Cornwall and now makes his way back to the players' pavilion, and it looks as though Double Green or is it Kenroy Williams is making his way out to the middle, and in the meantime the Leewards are now dispersing from this celebratory hurdle, and yeah, it looks like Kenroy Williams to me, so probably Double Green and then Taylor to come next. And of course the batting really falling apart from Jamaica here this morning. This afternoon. So 147 now for the loss of 6. Of course, this is a day-night encounter. Play got started at 2 p.m. and Leewards have done very well in I would say the first half an hour play so far. So the new batsman is Kenroy Williams, and he will be doing battle against Jacobs, who has picked up 2 wickets so far, and he will be bowling to Kenroy Williams as a forward short leg and the slip, of course, backward square, mid wicket to mid on, mid off. There's also a cover man out on the cover point boundary and a backward point. Here is Jacobs as he goes in now to bowl to Williams off the back foot, taking on the pad. There's a little peel. Umpire Raj Kumar says that's not out, and had it been a bit more straight, it would have been a decision in the opposite direction, but there was not to be. The score is kept on 147 now for the loss of 6, and Powell has 1, and the last wicket falling with the total. And here is the batsman now, allowing the ball to spin by outside the line of the off stump. Brings up the end of over number 41, and at the end of it, Leewards, in my view, having the better of the play that we've had so far. Jamaica replying to 204, they are 147 for 6.
And good afternoon to all our listeners. The Jamaica team from the overnight position, 112 for 3. They have now sort of capitulated to 147, losing 3 wickets so far, as Cornwall bowls now to the batsman that looks like Powell, and he settles once more. Rovman Powell, he's defending. It goes into the offside. The keeper sticks from behind, picks up, and there's no run. So So it's Powell once more. Powell get to, in fact, he's on one. And he gets his second run as there's a bit of fumbling there by Carty moving to his right at short backward square or short fine leg. And Powell was able to pick up his second run. So this brings Kenroy Williams on strike. He takes his guard. He's yet to get off the mark. So Leewards fighting back. And 204, not the sort of total they would have hoped to have posted batting first. But nevertheless, they are fighting back at this stage. And the spin bowlers getting success so far in today's proceedings as Cornwall waits for Kenroy Williams to settle. In fact, he's surveying the field, sees a slip, backward point, short, extra cover, mid off, and now some adjustment. Leg slip has been taken out, and he's being placed to forward short leg. And then backward point goes to extra cover, more or less a short cover, and slip has been placed, and there's a mid off, mid on, short mid wicket, short backward square, and mid wicket on the boundary as he's turning this one down to backward square for a single. Carty has some running to do to his left to retrieve, and one run to Kenroy Williams gets him off the mark immediately and takes the score to 149 for 6 Jamaica. And just reminding listeners that the Leeward Islands scored 204 in their first innings with a top score of 65 from Hamilton. Here is Powell looking to drive, taking on the pad, but perhaps missing the leg stump. And no real appeal, just a bit of excitement being exhibited by the Leeward Islands players, but no real appeal for many of them. Cornwall once more bowls. The appeal goes up this time in earnest by Cornwall. And Victor Cornwall seems to be quite willing to appeal for most most things.
Yes, as I say, pleasant good afternoon to you, Earl Smitten, and to all our listeners who might just be joining the stream. Yes, he does that consistently, but a good start for the Leewards and Jamaica Scorpions. They will be disappointed with their resumption here today.
So it's Kenroy Williams who is on 1, Powell is on 2, and they have lost 3 wickets in the day's play so far. As Jacobs goes in now, right arm leg spin. This one spins away from the batsman outside the off stump, and Williams does not play a shot. He has a slip and a forward short leg, a backward point, short extra cover, mid off and cover sweeping. This one is on Midland leg, spinning across the batsman body. It comes from the inner portion of the bat and goes down to short fine leg, and Williams picks up a single, takes his score to 2, and takes the Jamaica total on to 140, in fact 150 for 6. The scoreboard a bit slow in going up, but nevertheless they have been doing a very good job. As Jacobs is in now, tosses up on a good length. Batsman Powell defends, and it goes back up the track, just on the offside for the bowler himself to field. Jacobs once more goes in the right arm leg spin, outside the off stump, spinning further away. Some excitement there by Hamilton, but of course he's a very excitable young man and always busy. Real live wire, tossed up, driven down to long off. Thomas comes in from off the boundary fields, and just a single there to Powell, which takes him on to 3 and takes the score on to 151 for 6. In fact, Powell has gone on to 4, and it's cut away down to point there by Williams. No run scored. The over is completed. 151 for 6.
Yes, I'm very much impressed with the captaincy of Jama Hamilton. Two new batsmen come into the crease, and right away, Cornwall, the vice captain and the captain, working out the strategy of putting fielders in more attacking positions or in more positions where there is possibility of putting the batsmen into error. So Jama Hamilton has been handling the team so far. I'm being very impressed with his strategy in having fielders in attacking position, looking to press on their advantage. Good leadership by Jama Hamilton.
So it would be Cornwall, the right-arm off spinner, who comes in now. Balls is swinging and missing, and he's giving out like before. So Powell is not too pleased with that decision. He stands there, looks back, and that one was a fairly full-length delivery, Victor. And perhaps Carl Tuckett, who is not one of those umpires who is quick to raise the finger, quickly put up the finger, and I feel that umpire Tuckett felt that one would have knocked the middle stump out, the leg stump out of the ground.
Yes, indeed, and he took his time and looked carefully. And we know that Cornwall is not a big spinner of the ball, and that one, from our advantage point, it really kept straight on, and the batsman missed. And at this present moment, why would he have tried a stroke like that with Jamaica before his dismissal, losing 3 wickets this morning, now losing their 4th this afternoon, pardon me, losing their 4th, 7 wickets down, 151. And no doubt when he gets back to the dressing room, I can just imagine what will be the conversation to him.
So the Leeward Islands really fighting back well. Jamaica coming from the overnight position of 112 for 3. Blackwood 56, footed in 6. They have capitulated to now the 151. So they've added some 39 runs, and they've lost 4 wickets. And this is a great comeback here, Victor, by the Leeward Islands.
Well, you have said it quite rightly, Earl. I cannot add to what you have just said. Really, really excellent performance so far by the Leewards, and they will have to keep pressing on. But in terms of the field placing for Jama Hamilton and the new batsmen, it's what is appropriate. Have men in attacking positions. Try and keep one batsman in particular more under strike, so the bowlers like Rakeem Cornwall and his partner can have a better opportunity in using their variations in trying to dislodge these batsmen here.
So Cornwall will try once more. And he's, oh my goodness. For one moment I thought he was bowled. That one certainly spun and bounced over the top of center and off and beat the keeper, beat the batsman also, and ran down to a very straight fine leg position, and they were able to collect 4 precious runs, Jamaica, and the score has really gone on to 155 for 7, but 4 precious runs there, and good spin and bounce that time, Victor.
Yes, and they just prove our words wrong there. He got good spin and bounce on that one. And Hamilton himself was surprised because he stood up in thinking too that delivery would have struck the stumps. And he cannot blame Hamilton too much for that, because from our vantage point too, we were anticipating that how did that miss the stump. But good attacking cricket here by the Leewards. They are on their toes and they have a right to be so, getting 4 wickets thus far, and Cornwall is going to be tight for sure. We know that he's going to keep that end tight as he continues from the southern end. He continues to reap success for the Leewards.
So Cornwall once more comes in now, right arm over wicket bowls, and this one is in the air, and it's dropped there at foul shot leg by Hodge. It went rather quickly to him, but he got his hands to it and should have held on, but really and truly, in fairness to Hodge, sometimes those catches, they really would have to stick. It went so quickly, and here's this one turned down into the leg gully region. It eludes Thomas, who's at leg slip, moving to his left, and went down to short backward square, and no run was scored. But really, Cornwall posing some problems here for the Jamaican batsman. Batsman, of course, being Derval Green. who's swinging
I give the leg slip right.
and missing. Oh well, Thomas was really running for cover. Oh well, he was trying to get out of the way. That was a mighty heave.
You better believe that.
He missed it completely, and it was taken by the keeper. And Cornwall once more will come in now to bowl to Green. Green is back, plays it to forward short leg. And Hodgefield, he overcomes to an end, 155 for 7.
Yes, the vice captain, Raheem Cornwall, operating from that southern end. And he and Hamilton just exchanged a few quick words. But I've been saying to all that the strategy here by the Leewards and the leadership of Jama Hamilton is good. Having men in attacking positions, trying to keep pressing on the advantage that the Leewards have now. So it always shows how one session of a cricket match can have a total different complex, a total different outlook as to what can transpire. Well, they have 205 if they should pass the Leeward Islands first innings total.
Jacobs goes in now, bowls, and he's caught behind his ear. There's a loud and very confident appeal, and the finger of umpire Raj Kumar goes up, and Kenroy Williams is on his way, caught at the wicket off the bowling of Jacobs, and he goes back for 2. So further problems here for Jamaica.
Yes, and big problems here for the Jamaican Scorpions right out here at Warner Park International Stadium. You're listening to the live stream here from Warner Park, and it is regional cricket. The Leewards batted first and they scored 204, and Jamaica 155. I think sometime yesterday I made mention that figuratively at times a total of 204, it can sound small, but it can become a mountain. So right now, I believe that at this point was a fair comment, because 155 for 8. But how well the Leewards have performed this afternoon, Earl, and the leadership skills of Jama Hamilton has been very good in terms of his field placements and keeping the pressure on.
Well, I think Powell is the captain.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Powell. Okay. Powell, I'm sorry, pardon me.
So just to give you some bowling figures, Cornwall has bowled 13 overs, 5 maidens, 35 runs, and he's picked up 2 wickets. Jacobs 10.1 overs, 1 maiden, 27 runs, and I think he would have picked up 3rd wicket. Figures yet to be posted, but that would have been his 3rd wicket. The 3rd wicket for Damian Jacobs as he moves away from us now. Tosses up, and this one spins past the batsman outside the off stump. Batsman bully, not really offering a shot. Williams, of course. Kenroy Williams had a big, ugly looking hoik. Took the outside edge and he was taken behind by Hamilton. This one is on target, right on center stump, and just spinning slightly across the batsman body, jabs the bat at it and keeps it down, gets it into the offside where it's fielded, and there's no run. So Dennis Bully once more, bats right arm, bowls left-handed. He's driving and driving well up to cover, and it's Sheena Berridge who comes in from off the cover boundary, fields well, sends a strong return to the keeper. Single to Bully, gets off the mark. 156 it is for 8 Jamaica. Really crumbling here at Warner Park after being 112 for 2. Blackwood looking good, batting well on 56. Footed in, was looking good too. He was solid and had really begun to open up a bit. And now they're 155 for 8. This one is quietly played into the onside by Green, Doval Green, and it's fielded and there's no run. So there's a slip and a forward short, like a backward point cover sweeping, extra cover, and on the onside deep mid wicket, forward short leg, short mid wicket in the air. Cathy's getting on it, takes the catch, and Green is on his way. So Jamaica really up against it at this point, and from a healthy position, well, they have gone from what you could describe as king to a papa.
Yes, indeed, and I like that phrase and terminology there. And really, this is really good performance by the Leeward Islands. But what is very impressive with the wrist spinner operating from the northern end is that the control he has had, and really, it is usually very difficult. But when wrist spinners hit their lengths, they can be such a big problem or pose difficulties for batsmen. But when they have their off day, they really have their off day. But today is not his off day. He's right on the job and doing a very good job for the Leewards. 156 now for 8. And he has been the chief wicket taker this afternoon, Earl.
Yes, certainly. That's his 4th wicket. 11 overs, 1 maiden, 28 runs, 4 wickets. And Cornwall, who has been bowling well too, he has had 13 overs, 5 maidens, 35 runs, and picked up 2 wickets. So it's gonna be the new batsman, Taylor. In fact, he's the non-striker, and it would be Bully who would take strike. Taylor, of course, we know he has had runs at the international level, so he's no rabbit with the bat. Coming in at surprisingly at number 11, which would suggest to me that the others before him has some ability to bat, but they certainly have not shown it today. And here is Bully defending and gets it out square of the wicket on the offside for Hamilton to come from behind to retrieve, and there's no run, no slip. There's a short cover, there's a mid-off, wideish, as Cornwall bowls, and he's driving, and it goes up to mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket. Berridge comes in from off the boundary, fields, and Bully collects a run. So he goes to 2. It's now 157 for 9. And on the onside, well, there's some adjustments for Taylor. We see long off and long on going back on the boundary. Mid-wicket is on the boundary. Backward square is also on the boundary, and there's a slip, there's a forward short leg, there's a short mid-wicket, there's an extra cover, and there's a backward point. And this one is hoiking this one in the air, it's going out towards, oh my goodness, it's missed there by Berridge. Berridge coming in from off the mid-wicket boundary, got both hands to it, should have taken the catch, but grasped it. A very easy catch indeed, especially at this level, and he put it down.
Yes, I have a very simple drop catch there by Sheena Berridge coming off. He should have really just swallowed that one up.
So Cornwall once more bowls, and this one spun past him on the leg side and bounced to Victor. So every now and then we see the pitch doing a little trick there for the bowlers. As this one is defending, it goes down into the slip region where Peters is moving across to his right to field, and there's no run. So a bad miss there by Berridge. He seemed to be disappointed that he had dropped the catch, but he only has himself to blame. And here is Bully stepping out and driving up towards mid-wicket. Berridge comes in from off the boundary, picks up. The over comes to an end. It's 159 for 9 Jamaica. And Taylor is on 1, and Bully's on 3.
Well, and really, Sheena Berridge, at this level, you got to really take those catches. That was too simple to put down in that fashion. And really, he must be feeling real bad about that, really. And he has all right to feel bad about it because it was a simple chance he let off there.
So Bully is in strike now as Jacob goes in and bowls. Team is back! And missed it. The keeper dropped it, but fortunately for the Leewards, the batsman did not get an edge, as it's Jacobs once more. He has picked up 4 wickets so far, and the batsman allows this to strike him on the thigh pad. A delivery looks like the googly, which was going down the leg side, and he just allowed it to strike him on the thigh pad. Not offering a shot, and it was picked up there. by Hodge. Does some repair work on the boot laces of Bully, who's having some words with Hamilton. Hamilton is one who's always keen to get in a word or two.
Probably that's why I got carried away a little.
Real lively fellow.
Yeah.
As here is Bully driving back up, not timing it. He drives it back to the bowler, fields to his own bowling. And there's the run, 159 for 9. Bully 3, Taylor 1. Jacobs once more tosses up outside the off stump, spinning further away. Just slight turn there from Jacobs. Nothing alarming. And it's taken behind by the keeper. No shot offered by the batsman. Jacobs once more. Right arm, leg spin goes in. This time it's pitched on leg stump and spins into the batsman. There's been slaughter on Victor. Nothing
vicious,
nothing alarming. Jacobs has certainly been beating them probably by varying his line and length and pace. As he goes in now, tosses up outside the off stump. This one is banged out towards the extra cover boundary and goes across the line. And a good shot there by Bully. 4 runs, takes him to 7, takes the score to 163 for 9. And Victor, I'm sure every run very important to both teams at this stage.
Yes, indeed, and very, very important. But very impressed too with Jacobs as the wrist spinner, and the control that he has demonstrated in this innings has been very good, because as you know, Earl, it is a lot much more difficult in the art for wrist spinners getting their length and line right, and he has really got it on spot on here this afternoon.
Yes, I suspect we might be in for some fun now. Taylor is facing, and from his approach to his first delivery, he's not going to stick around. He's back, defends, probably trying to prove me wrong, or perhaps he's not ready yet to wield the willow. Of course, sometimes these guys, they play by numbers. And he's driving. This is a pleasant shot. It goes up to long off, and he gets a single. That's a good cricket shot there. Yes. Ball pitched up to him, and he was driving up to long off for a single. So with that single, he goes to 3. And perhaps the miss might have brought him to his senses, and perhaps he decides, well, Bully is batting well. He looks like an accomplished player, so let me hang around with him and see how much we could get, see how close we could get to this score. Who knows, maybe surpass the 204 scored by the Leeward Islands. You could never tell as Bully settles. And for every run, it would be a dagger in the heart of Berries. This one is in the air, but away from any of the fieldsmen. It goes down to wideish long on. It's fielded by Carty. And a single it is to Bully. Moves to 8. And the score goes to 165 for 9. 9 extras in over number 48. Swan is back. And the Chinese cut, the French cut, whichever one you prefer to say, it's going down towards fine leg. Bully is looking for a third. Taylor is not interested as the return comes in from off the boundary. And 2 more precious runs there to Jamaica. 2 more runs to Taylor. He goes to 4. And the score goes to 167 for 9. So Cornwall with a slip, a backward point, extra cover, long off, back on the boundary, bows to Taylor, and Taylor is lifting this one over, wide, long on, and really, not just over, wide, long on, he lifted it a long, long way back, and it's over the boundary for a massive 6.
Yes, and good timing by Jerome Taylor. He picked that delivery nicely too. It was one which was given a little much more air. Cornwall doesn't present batsmen with too many of those deliveries, but Taylor picked it up nicely.
He moves to 10 with that 6, and it's now 173 for 9. He's driving and driving up to extra cover, where it's fielded by Powell. There's no run. So Taylor missed when he had not scored. He has now picked up 10 runs, 10 important runs for his team. So Berridge, of course, will be hoping that he will be dismissed as soon as possible, Victor.
Well, that is what all players would hope for after putting down, especially what should have been taken by Berridge. It was one of the easiest catches we would have seen when we put it down to the floor. Well, Jacobs will try again as he continues to bowl well. This is a very good spell by Jacobs.
And then one here looking on at this game as Jacobs tosses up and Bully is defending. It goes into the offside for Hamilton to come from behind the field, and there's no run. So now we see foul short leg is being placed into a silly point. So there's a slip and a silly point as this one is tossed up. He's back, angles it down to short backward point. Carty is quickly in and around and feels well. There's no chance of a run. There's a cover sweep in Berridge, extra cover the captain Powell. Long off is Thomas outside the off stump, and no shot being offered by the batsman. Is also short mid wicket, short backward square as Jacobs was about to go in, but the batsman drew away from his stumps, and Jacobs will go in once more. He goes in and bowls one which the batsman seemed to be in two minds, but in the end did not really offer a shot, and the ball seemed to have come from Padden going into the onside. No run was scored as Jacobs once more tosses up and leg stump and spinning across the batsman body. He's turning it into the leg gully region for the keeper to quickly retrieve, and once more there's no run. So Bully defending well so far as he's back and drops his bat on that. It goes into the offside, and Bully himself a leg spinner, although of the left arm variety. The over comes to an end, my stint comes to an end. It's 173 for 9, and words from Victor, and then it would be our good friend Keith Carty to continue the ball by ball as the water cat goes onto the field.
Yes, and quite a welcome sight for the players is a refreshment cart coming onto the field. And it's very hot out here at Warner Park. For those of you who might just be joining the stream, we greet you with the news. 173 for 9 it is as the refreshment cart is on the field. I've been rejoined now by Keith Carty as the refreshment cart is on the field, and I'm going to have a little...
Well, things have gone pear-shaped or downhill for the Jamaican Scorpions since play started. From an overnight position of 112 for 3, Blackwood was unbeaten on 56 and footed in not out on 6. Blackwood was the first to go. He was caught by Munson Hodge at the leg slip of the bowling of Cornwall for 69, 134 for 4. Palmer, he was bowled by Jacobs for 6, 146 for 5. Footed in, caught for slip by Cornwall of the bowling of Jacobs, not really reading the googly. He departed for 19, 147 for the loss of 6. Powell was LBW to Cornwall for 3, 157, 151 for 7. And then Kenroy Williams caught behind of the bowling of Jacobs for 2, 155 for 8. And Green caught by wicketkeeper Hamilton of Jacobs for no score. And the total then was 156 for 9. Now it has gone to 173 for the loss of the same 9, with Taylor, of course, he has 10 and Bully has 8. So the players are not, they're around the water cart having a refreshment break, and of course it has been a very hot day, and evidence of, you know, we didn't have the breeze today that we had yesterday, and the players are having a well-deserved refreshment break, while the groundsman does a bit of, you know, remarking of the crease and what have you. And play will get started, in my view, in about, I would say, 2 or 3 minutes from now. So until the play got back in the middle, we're going to take a break here and then rejoin you back then. All the water card has now disappeared from the middle, and the players are back in their respective positions. And the play is about to resume. Cornwall will continue the attack from the far end, and he'll be bowling, of course, to Jerome Taylor, who is no slouch with the bat. If my memory serves me correct, I think he has one Test century. I think that was against New Zealand, when he joined the middle with Chandapal. Chandapal had in excess of 50, and he got to the 100 before Chandapal did. So he's one who can clearly bat, and would need to bring his batting expertise to the forefront now if Jamaica to get anywhere close to, at least for us, it would want to get past 204 and then put runs on the board for Leewards to really chase down. So it will be Cornwall with different thoughts as he prepares to come into bowl to Taylor. And Taylor looks up, sees that there is a long on and a long off. Here's Cornwall to bowl to Taylor now, who's forward, defends back to the bowler who does his own fielding, and there is no run. So when Taylor was on naught, he was dropped by Berridge coming off the mid-wicket boundary off Cornwall. And the score now has pushed on to 173 for the loss of 9. Cornwall trying to wrap things up here as he comes into bowl to Taylor. And Taylor plays it in the onside and probably given a nod of approval that that was a real good delivery from Cornwall. But let's wait and see how soon will it be before he attempts another big shot. Cornwall is on his way to bowl to Taylor once more, and he's off the back foot and crashes that, finds the gap between point and cover, out towards the boundary for 4 runs. Now that's a shot of confidence and class. More runs to the Jamaican Scorpions, and of course Powell will be very pleased with that.
Yes, and he gave him all the reasons to extend his arms. It was delivery short and wide of the off stump, and he bisected the cover and point into the deep extra cover boundary for 4 well-earned runs. In any form or fashion, Jamaica Scorpions will welcome these runs in pursuit of 204.
Cornwall in his 16th over so far has picked up 2 for 48. He's on his way now to bowl to Taylor once more, and Taylor's whipping this off the pad out towards the boundary, where Orlando Peter comes off the boundary, prevents the second, and Taylor advances by 1 now to 15. The total goes to 178 for the loss of 9. And the last wicket falling with a total on 156. So Leewards would want to wrap up things here and get back to business and see if they can post a much better total than they did in the first innings. Of course, Taylor, he took 5 for 28. Here is Cornwall out to bowl to Bully, who is back to a faster, flatter delivery, defends out towards Powell, and there is no addition to the score. So the scoreboard is saying we are in the 50th over. Here is the batsman now hitting this somewhere in the regional, in the backward square position, and off the boundary comes Peters to do the fielding. The batsman in the meanwhile crosses for 2, and the score advances to 180 now for the loss of 9. Bully goes to 10, and with him Taylor has 15.
Yes, and this is a good partnership building between these two here in pursuit of 204, which was scored by the Leeward Islands, but a very excellent performance by the Leeward Islands this afternoon. 112 it was for 3. Jamaica Scorpions had overnight. 2 batsmen now just completed their mid-pitch conversation. Play continues, and the chief wicket taker this afternoon for the Leewards, Jacobs, he's going to continue from the northern end of the ground here at Wanapa.
Well, it has been an all-spin attack today for the Leewards between Damian Jacobs and Raheem Cornwall. We are yet to see the seamers. Probably you might not see them, at least in the Jamaican innings, or unless these two get a massive partnership. And here is the batsman, Powell, looking to go straight down the ground. That is Taylor, and not making contact, and the ball going very close to the off stump, and the Jacobs almost picking up yet another wicket.
Yes, on that occasion too, that was the googly, and probably Taylor did not picked it up, but luckily for him, he's still there.
Well, of course, he was a regular player for this Jamaican team, so of course they would have, of course, some banter going on between himself and the other Jamaican players. He's bringing Powell forward once more. Of course, each party wanting to have the bragging rights that have had the better view. But so far, Jacob has had the best of the proceedings so far. So far, he has 4 wickets and looking for his 5th. Leewards fighting back very strongly here as Jacobs goes into bowl to the batsman who hits this high and hard over extra cover, I think it is gone for 6 runs. And that's now confirmed by umpire Raj Kumar from Trinidad. And that's a brilliant shot from Taylor.
Yes, indeed, over extra cover and really getting his left foot to the pitch and executing it nicely. So Jamaica getting closer to the 204, which was posted by the Leewards.
Total 186 for the loss of 9. Taylor has gone to 21. With him so far, Bully has 10. And probably was wondering, well, why did Taylor bat number 11 for this Jamaican team? It says that those before him probably has a bit more batting ability. But so far, Taylor has looked by far the better of the two players in the middle. So in my view, I think he has batted a slot too low.
I would agree with you there, Carty, because he is playing good shots. They are orthodox strokes.
Jacobs is on his way to bowl to Taylor once more. Taylor is forward, beaten outside the line of the off stump to a delivery that spun away from the right-handed batsman. And that one definitely had a lot of turn and bounce on that. Hamilton standing up, collects very cleanly. And there is no addition to the score. We're in over number 51. And Jacobs rubbing the ball in his flannels, trying to maintain whatever shine they might be as he looks up and sees that Taylor's in his stance now. Goes past umpire Kumar to bowl to the Taylor's off the back foot and pulls it out towards the backward square position. That's unprotected real estate down there, and that's gone away for 4 runs. So you can see Jacobs was disappointed with the line of that delivery, and Taylor said, "Thank you very much. Christmas is gone, but I'll have that gift still."
Yes, and it was a good stroke by Taylor, and capitalizing on anything loose, and quite rightly so, and giving his team a lot much more confidence now. And really, Bully is also going to instill some more confidence to Taylor. Just dapped him now, no doubt congratulated him as they inch closer to 204, 190 for 9.
190 for 9. Here is Jacobs as he goes into bowl to Taylor once more. A flight to deliver. Taylor hits this down to the man on the long off boundary. In fact, the catch is taken, or is it dropped? So the catch is taken by Devon Thomas. So a real good catch from Thomas on the long off boundary. And Taylor will say, "Well, Bulla, you just spoke to me, but if the ball is there in the slot, I'm going to try and hit it." And he did exactly that, but only to find Thomas on the long off boundary. And Jamaican innings have come to an end. 190 all out. So Leewards at least picking up first innings point in this match so far, and they should be very pleased with the way things has gone since play started today, Victor.
Yes, in short, this afternoon here at Warner Park, we have seen an excellent performance by the Leeward Islands, and Kyron Powell led his team well. His field placement, especially when the Leeward Islands kept on getting wickets, that he introduced fielders within attacking position.